This is your boy, Mr. Political. I've been blessed once again by LANCESCURV to speak to you. I am not a reporter, nor do I claim that I'm a reporter. I'm just boots on the ground as a conscientious and a concerned citizen. And this is coming from the state of Florida. So be fully aware that we can only interpret what the media, the ABC, the NBC, and all the Fool-Aid channels on YouTube, and their pursuit in informing you on what's going on in America and the things that concern you, even though you say, and some have said, and many have said, and even moments ago, those who have gave me conscientious, what is the proper word to use, their opinions, and opinions do count. They're not like assholes. At least an asshole has the ability to interpret the defecation, the feces that come out of their ass, just like it comes out of their mouth. And in this, I must give you a update to the Epstein and the things that are going concerning the Epstein file from a citizen perspective, and what a citizen observed. If you are a citizen, please pay attention to what is going on in your government. The Afro-American does not care. The last of us who consider themselves as being a black American is paying attention. The Afro-American is just like a sheep, a bale sheep, that is being led to the water, which they refuse to carry and even refuse to take a sip from the pool of ignorance. This is the short scheme that in the state of Florida, the state attorney general, which has been elevated from the state of Florida, and the private attorney for Mr. Trump, who is the second chair of the Justice Department, had a private hearing, which is not supposed to occur, but the American people allowed it to occur, and not outraged by the outcome of the perspective which is given in an interview throughout the airways and throughout the media in America. We're going to first start with those individual comments that I made in the beginning. These things are not proper. That it leads the American people to believe that Mr. Trump is part of that 100 names that may or may not, or even possible, be true, that he may have been a party to the molestation of children. And if your child has not been molested, you feel that it is not your concern. But as an American citizen and a black American citizen, you should be concerned. The Afro-American is concerned whether or not he, under the tariff, is going to be able to get that first pair of tennis shoes, and whether or not he'll be able to get 3 packs or 3 T-shirts in a pack of white tees. Excuse me. This and those things are concerning. That there is no private hearing. That even though he's the second chair of the Justice Department, he should have recused himself from ever doing that. And that Ms. Bundy may or may not be lying to the American people in their pursuit of covering up what is occurring in America. That there was a hearing with the boy from New York, and I don't use the word boy loosely, but he has grown a set of conads, and in a Senate Commission hearing, in an investigation concerning fentanyl and illegal aliens, that he tried to strike from the record a concern by the boy of New York on whether or not the file for Mr. Epstein is stricken and not open to the American people. there's a great deal of concern here, and that all Americans, black and white, and not the blue, but the black and the white and not the blue, should be deeply concerned about whether or not you have the right to an attorney, whether or not you can be incarcerated, and your family, your friends, and even your state representative, your senator, cannot investigate whether or not you are in a safe environment. If you agree with these things, then if your loved ones come up dead or come up disappeared, or even an illegal alien is incarcerated, which I could care less, but I must care as a former military person that their rights under due process is protected while they go through litigation concerning whether or not they should be in this country. We must not. We must always be concerned. It is not an issue whether or not you can care or don't care. Once you become a full adult in America at the age of 21 and even at the age of 18, you must be concerned what go on in your country. At the same time, and I know I say repeatedly at the same time, and you do not hear the beat in the background of a smoke detector, I am throwing smoke. And you must see the fire. If you hear the smoke, then you know that there is fire in Washington, D.C. If you have been consciously observant of the last 15 years in this country, then you know that the multimedia will allow you during the week to know what's going on, and when the changes come on Friday, they do not let you know until Congress has recessed. You as the American people and your rights are being violated, that the Justice Department and justice in America have been hijacked by associates and friends, that you know, if you are paying attention, that the department head, the Secretary of Education, has taken a bribe through tax exemption as a billionaire. She has taken a bribe, that they are bribing officials, that officials are openly taking bribes to keep their mouth shut, and that even in his pursuit of Mr. Obama, which I do not support him anymore, that I do not see him as a legitimate president, know that it may be a possibility that his and his wife are on that list of those that Mr. Epstein has been involved in, that Mr. Clinton and his wife, in their pursuit over these last 15 to 20 years, are a party in overthrowing the American government, that they are keeping secret, the secrets which Mr. Trump do not want to let out, that it is a great possibility from the perspective of a citizen who is paying attention that there is no lie by this editor and multimedia mogul that Mr. Epstein made that personal card, that these things are true, and that the infighting that is going on in Washington, D.C. is your concern and should always be your concern, because none of us, hear me carefully, none of us is Nostradamus. None of us can foresee what the future will bring. So it is always 24/7, every day, your concern would go on in your government. It may not affect you as boots on the ground, but it will come to a door, and this door is being guarded by the coon, has and will continuously by their association through Masons and Negro colleges are selling you down the line. That the Democratic Party, in their pursuit to gain your favor once again, is a party to the molestation of these children. And that even as an Afro-American, and you may believe that these are only white children that have been touched on, but each and every day for a small group or a large group or a individual person who has dealt with child molestation in this country should be deeply concerned. You cannot, in any sense of saying that you're a rational human being, remove yourself from the situation. That it is making possible in hiding these files that your child and every child, black, white, and with the exception of the blue, it does not matter. What matters is your ability to know that one day, as they are going after the illegal alien which they let in this country, that you will be next on the chopping block. You cannot hide from this. You cannot put your head in the sand like the ostrich. You cannot and should not ignore, based upon your ethnic background, that it is okay and it is not just isolated, just like it was said to you about the Catholic Church in its molestation of children and its kidnapping of children. To ignore what is going on in Washington, D.C., to ignore what is going on in Washington, D.C. is setting you up and preparing you to be the next victim, to be the next individual. And the suspension of habeas corpus and bail is not, hear me very carefully, is always your concern. Even though you may not agree with those individuals, that by allowing this to occur, you allow and set yourself up for your right to habeas corpus. We have seen over the last 20 to 18 years that we have given the police unbridled right to violate you. That leads me and segue me into an incident which occurred in the state of Florida, where a young man was told that he must drive without law or legislation his car, which did not indicate at no time that it was raining, that the police department did not even have their lights on. But that was the justification for the stop. And even though the way that he brought the information out, the way that he presented the videotape of his perspective of what occurred, he still had the right. And that we know this is not a fabrication, this is not an ignorance by Uncle Ruckus of the Jacksonville Police Department, a.k.a. known as the #1 coon from the state of Florida. And he has even replaced the ignorant police chiefs that we have seen in the past and in the future, and even now, that they are manipulating your mind on key issues to suspend your right, to suspend your children's right, and your ability to protect your children in the future. That America is being hijacked not only by the Senate, but the House of Representatives, because they all have taken money, and in the near future, in their trying to move forward with their individual cover-up of the things that they're allowing to happen, that there is a reasoning for covering up these things. why they suspend your rights, why they try to convince you to suspend the habeas corpus, that if you allow them to suspend habeas corpus and you do not show your displeasure, your objection, your refusal, your total civil disobedience, and this is not to incite you, but to inform you that these things are occurring, that even though you feel that it is not at your door right now, it is in your face as we speak, as you listen, and even future when you listen to me. I put myself, my life, my children on, let's just say, danger to inform you that what is going on in your country is not proper, that it is not a person who believes in MAGA. It is not a fool-laid child of the Democratic Party, not a turncoat who has joined the Republican Party, because there is only one party that really counts in America. It is only one party that you were born in America. It is only one party that your loyalty, your faith, and your belief from the pulpit to the ballot box is the American Party. The American people is your only loyalty, not the Democratic Party, not the MAGA Party, not the Republican Party, and not even the Negro Klan that has been propagated and created in the meeting that took place in Niagara Falls. Be fully aware that it is nothing wrong with questioning what is going on in your government today. It is nothing wrong with having doubts in the truthfulness of the House of Representatives, the Senate, and in their minions, and it is true. And without hesitation, I tell you, if you meet along your wake and your walk in this confusing situation that is going on in America, that you cannot even trust the individual who says that he is an independent. Among those 3 and 4 that I spoke about, and it includes the MAGA, do not trust them, that they will tell you a lie quicker than you can change the underwear, which is dated for the date of the week. That means that if you, as an individual citizen, believe that on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even all the way to Sunday, that your underwear in your underwear drawer is marked, that you cannot even trust the liner that protect you, the liner which gives you sanitary safety in the wearing of the underwear of the week. You as an American people, you as a conscientious voter, you as an individual who believes in the Constitution and the foundation and the standing of the Republic, is allowing these individuals to destroy it live and in living color at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and even 11 o'clock, since we no longer have the late show, that you must be concerned. You must be concerned. You cannot run. You cannot hide. You cannot say it does not concern you, because you will wake up one day, just like many have, those who remember World War II and remember the beginning of World War II, which started in 1938 to 1945, that your civil liberties through a Nazi regime, because that is a broad term now. It is not just alienated to those who supported Hitler, that their mindset was that it does not affect me. I am not that Jew. I'm not that Polish person. I'm not even that person in the Philippines. I'm not even that person in other areas. We as individuals who grew up during the Vietnam War, have lived long enough to see Cambodia and Thailand take shots at each other. That wholesale extermination by those who claim, and even evidentiary proof of over 6 million Jews were killed, that they have taken the position of genocide of the Palestinians. Yes, I do not support the Palestinians because as a child, I saw them burn tires and throw rocks, but to today, they want to be fed, but they still support Hamas. They have not came out in their wholesale begging of substance to remove Hamas and not support Hamas. It would be possible for me as an American people, as an American person, as an American veteran, to believe that if you do not support a heinous terrorist organization, that you should be removed from Congress. Me as a veteran do not believe that they have these rights to food and substance if they cannot fix their mouths as they are dying and starving in the Middle East to a terrorist organization. You reap what you sow. You receive whatever come about in your support of individuals who say that they're doing this in your name, in your safety, and in your advancement. The American people need to wake up. This is not an isolated opinion. This is an opinion based in fact that this is not normal, that the great possibility that Mr. Trump had touched little children is coming clearly apparent, that in his pardon of this woman who had been given 20 years by the aggressive pursuit of the Democrats and some Republicans, it was done to silence her. And now, after she has spent little to no time in jail, her private attorney, Mr. Trump's private attorney that has been elevated to the second chair of the Justice Department, that the Attorney General of the United States, which is a former state attorney general for the state of Florida, has moved to a greatest cover-up that the American people will ever know in their lifetime, that our government is out of control. You may, as your right as an American citizen, support Trump, and I must give full disclosure that on multiple occasions I called his election that he would be president of the United States, but I had no knowledge, had no conscious understanding that he will turn into this decade of a Hitler and an individual who is trying to hijack your civil liberties to ensure those which are in mega, because I and as you have the right to vote for whoever your pocket allow you to, not to vote for whoever fooled you, lied to you, misled you, manipulated you, programmed you because of your black fear, your white fear, and even the ignorance of the blue. And I'm not talking about the Democratic Party, I'm talking about law enforcement, which has and will and has been supported by a rogue union. This union is the new Ku Klux Klan, that the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, which we have been forced to make a choice in, have gone together, have been together, and breed together a new monarch, a new royal family, a new ruling, let's just say, and I know I use that quite a bit, but let's just say that there is no ruling class in America, that these individuals are trying to take your government, that they are not telling you the truth, that they are lying to you at each and every turn, that these Senate hearings, which they all are participating in, and then take unprecedented summer breaks as your children go back to school and not fully informed, educated, that they are trying to change the focus, the perspective, or whatever choice of word which gets you to grasp hold of the brain that has not only been manipulated through the voting bloc and the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and that Miss Scott, the former wife of Martin Luther King, knows the transgression of her husband, that he had cheated on her, that he had been urged and supported by the Big Six that got you to march upon Washington, that it was all a calculated plan, and that she does not want these files to be released, just like Trump does not want these files in the Epstein case, that Martin Luther King is not the hero which we thought he was. That in the beginning, when you listen very carefully to the speech that he made on the eve of his death, that he had been informed that they were going to kill him because he changed his mind on whether or not he wanted to lead his children into a burning house. That Lyndon B. Johnson was fully aware, just like you are fully aware, that the great possibility of revolt in America is on the horizon. That the police department, even in the explaining of their behavior over the last 18 years, that they even know, as they programmed your mind through YouTube, Food channels, ABC, NBC, CNN, MS, all of these medias, you can check what I say. All you have to do is take a moment out your time, use your remote control, and in using your remote control, that if you're paying very careful, you will notice that when they take a commercial break, that all of ABC, NBC, news medias all take breaks at the same time. That they sit and let you only see what they want you to see. They only want you to understand what they want you to understand. That Congress always gives you the bad news on Fridays, so they won't have to explain to you during the weekend the wrong that they are doing, that they are part of this cover-up that is going on in America, and that they are acceptance of the cover-up which is going on in America, because they are a party to these crimes. All you have to do is take a moment, like you take the moment I asked you to sit and use your remote control and be fully aware. Step away from the bars. Step away from your local drug dealer. Step away from your social entertainment. View, as you should, all the things that are going on in America and make a conscientious, eye-awakening awareness of what's going on. This is your boy, Mr. Political, no longer being silent and coming as the dust that flies through the wind, and coming back and informing you that we's in trouble, that we as the American people have birthed this baby. We can no longer say that I don't know how to birth this baby, as Gone in the Wind and Suge Brown has told you, because the Afro-American has took the mark of the beast, that they, as Suge Brown was ignorant, they, as Amos and Andy, are being ignorant because they don't believe that this will come to their door. That as the poet, which has been stricken from the educational progress of America, had foretold that if they come for one, in all due time, they'll come for you. This is your boy, Mr. Political, not gone, not silent, but in jeopardy of in informing you that the possibility that you will be next. And I am out.